Hey, Mahir here again from CityPicnic. During this activity, we're going to be looking at table service. We're going to give you some top tips to take your communication with the guest to the next level. The service aspect is the foundation of good hospitality. This is the practical physical skills that you need to be able to deliver our great food and drinks to the guest. That's the foundation. We have covered that in previous and future training courses. Once you have got a strong foundation, we must focus on the hospitality element. The hospitality element is all about how we make the guest feel, and this is what differentiates an alright experience to a really great experience. Here's a couple of top tips that will allow you to provide excellent hospitality to our guests. Firstly, use your own authentic voice. And you're probably sitting there and going, I do use my own voice, but so many people put on their hospitality voice at work. This is usually a little bit higher pitch than our normal voice and is a bit more clipped. Even though we're being very polite and very formal, it's actually very insincere and it's very hard to connect with. If we can use our own natural voice, it allows us to connect with the guest much more easily. Number two, set a clear intention of how you want the guest to feel when you go over. Now, what I mean by this is, before you go over to a table, think about an emotion that you want them to feel. So, if I've got loads of thoughts going off in my head about all the things that I've got to do this on table 6, I have to clean table 7. When I go over to that table, what starts to happen is those thoughts influence my pace of speech, my body language, and we usually start to speak quicker, listen less, and the guest can notice we are not fully present. Before you get to the table, think, how do I want to make these guests feel? I want the guests to be relaxed, so I need to approach in a confident, comfortable, relaxed manner. And as we do this, our body language will relax, our tone will soften, and what you're thinking, what you're saying, and what your body language is doing will all sync up. Number three, before you get to the table, just make a tiny pause before you start speaking. We should get to about 3 feet from the table and take a small pause before you greet the guests. This will establish you that at the table, and we can then say good afternoon or good evening. The little gap allows the guest to feel our presence, acknowledge that we're there, and usually it makes them more able to concentrate on the first thing we say to them. Number four is to slow down. Especially in the first sort of 10-15 seconds of greeting the guest, this means we will consciously slow down the pace of speech and allow a little second before answering after the guest. If we allow a bit more space, it just allows the guest to feel more relaxed. It will make you feel calmer and more relaxed, and you'll come across as more confident as well. Number six. Number six is checking back on the table. We have covered check backs in a previous course, so remember the top tips. Remember to read the guest and remember to be proactive in our checks. The final tip is how you can use your name to build connection. If you're struggling to build a connection with your guest at some point during the experience, just let them know your name. What you'll find is if you give them your name, it's a really useful tool to build connection. It makes the guests feel relaxed and makes them feel safe, and they're much more likely to remember it as well. Think about why we give people our names in real life. It's because we want to build connection with them, and it should be the same thing in the restaurant.